I just don't give up. No matter what happens, I could hit one day in Rally Barbados, and once the car could be repaired, I will be back out the next day. You can't give up. You don't know what's gonna happen. My name is Daryl Clarke. I went to school at the St. Michael's Secondary School. Before that, I went to school at St. Winford's. After that, Polytechnic. I studied auto mechanics for 3 years at the Polytechnic, and then I went to the UTA school in Orlando, did more mechanics there, and I just have a general passion for cars and fixing things, so that's where I think it arrived from. I actually was interested in like NASCAR racing and stuff, believe it or not. I used to follow like Jeff Gordon and some of the guys back in the day. Then after that, when I was growing up, I never had the opportunity to have a go-kart or anything like that, but I got into RC car racing, remote control racing. And I did like about 4 years of that, and I was actually champion of it. The club was called Roar. And it took off from there because then I got my license and I was able to get a car. I had a rear drive started, and I started from there basically. I never thought I would get to racing, but it was just for fun at that point in time. Sports I played, I used to be into track and field, and then on sports day actually in secondary school, I hurt my knee doing a long jump, and after that I kind of just slowed it down a little bit. Really not much after that. Just got into cars, and that's not very much of an activity, but it's took up some of my time. The cars I had when I was growing up, they're still very popular nowadays, which is Toyota started in 1984. I actually had like 3 of them at one point in time before I even had my license. I was just generally interested in that particular car because it was a big car here in Barbados at that point in time. One of them I wanted to set up for racing, but money was a problem at that time. I mean, I was 16, 17 years old. I can't afford to do much at that point in time with no job. So that one was on the back burner, and then I had one for the street that I used to drive around daily. Slowly but surely modified it. It was normally aspirated, and I turbocharged it with a 4AG 20 valve engine. I used to just have fun on the street, and then it got more serious from there. I had a Mitsubishi Colt after it where I put in an Evo conversion. And then I went to school, so I sold that. And when I was at school overseas, I was like, well, I want to get into racing. I really don't want to be on the street much anymore, and it's not enjoyable. And I bought an ex-race car from Steve Oliver, a Mitsubishi Colt as well, and I started from there. I used to follow racing and stuff like that, but it wasn't like if I was knowledgeable about it at that age, and I used to go to events and watch rallying and stuff with my family. But there's no particular person I really would say that I used to look at. I mean, I knew about all the guys. I knew about Roger Skeet, knew about Paul Bourne, and I knew about them, but it's really nobody that I used to personally follow per se that really caught my eye. I just used to watch it generally because at that point in time, I never knew that I would be able to get into racing. So it was more of just the excitement of watching it. I have a love-hate relationship with Canefield. It is one of the worst roads. As a stage, I do enjoy driving it, and I am fast on it, but I really don't like it because it's very bumpy and it's very hard on the car, and I've had accidents on that stage before. And we do drive it very often, and it sticks out in my mind because I really do enjoy driving it. But like I said, it's a love-hate relationship because if I had a choice to not to drive it, I wouldn't. Other than that, I would say, I honestly, I love anything that's new. Anything that they bring out a different stage or whatever, I personally feel that I come to grips faster with new stuff than people that have raced a stage 10 times over and over and over again. They obviously are fast on that, but I find that out of the box, I think that I'm pretty quick on something that's new. So I don't mind whenever they have a new stage. My team has in about maybe, well, it's changed over the last couple of years. Have Ryan Carrington, who everybody knows as Wrecker. Used to be with me before, but right now at the point in his life, he's pretty busy at the moment. So I have another guy, Chris Absalon, that helps me out. Then there's so much other people that are behind the scenes, my parents that help me out daily that you would never see. They do come and watch, but you would never see them helping per se on the car, on the stage. Then they have Russell, who's always there, my navigator. In time of need, he helps me. And then I have to say, boy, David Balgobin, everybody knows him as Bally. He's the guy behind the tuning of the car and making sure anytime I have problems, he's always there to help. And I can't leave out recently the whole Thompson family. They're always there in the time of need, and I need them sometimes. Other than that, it's basically a very small crew with me. I do 90% of the work on the car. I would say my biggest setback would have been last year when I wrote off my car. I actually didn't know what was going to happen after that. Well, I did win the championship at the same time, and thankfully, with the help of my parents, and I just got some new sponsors on board, Automotive and Flow, and without them, nothing would have happened. I didn't think I would be racing this year actually, and I was able to overcome it with everybody's help and got this next car ready in time to start the season. It was a mad rush, but I made it happen, and I was actually very surprised at how everything came together. The reason I chose this car is because the Colt, it was fun, I liked it. It gave me a horrendous time trying to get it faster because the engine was the problem with it, and trying to modify it, it just, I don't know, that particular engine doesn't modify very well, and it was just ending up spending a lot of money, a lot of effort, and getting nowhere with it. Eventually, I took words of advice from some very smart people, and the Hondas, the engines, you can't beat them. I don't care who you are or what you say, depending on what it is. Certain Honda engines, they were developed to race. And I eventually, after mashing up the engine in the Colt about 10 times, I put a Honda engine in it, and from the get-go, you can feel the difference with the engine, and you don't even have to modify it. So I hate the Colt, and the only logical thing was, well, instead of going in a group that I didn't want to go into with putting a Honda engine in a Mitsubishi, I was like, well, let me look at the options with Honda. So then the EG is a car that's world known, you know, for racing. So I was like, well, let me go with this route because I didn't want to get anything too new. It's harder to work with and aftermarket support. So that's why I chose the EG. And from day one, when I bought out the car, it was winning. What motivates me to keep going is that the passion for the sport and working on the car. Even though sometimes I tell myself I really don't feel like working on the car anymore, I really want to take a break from it. Something always draws me back, and it's something to do in time where I have nothing to do. I would just come outside and pick at the car a little bit, and then, you know, I get back into it. And then when the big rallies like Rally Bar Race come around, there's a lot of everybody around the place is excited for the racing, so it gives me an extra motivation, and you know, and then when you get the results, that's when things really happen. When you win and everybody sees that you're doing good, you know, it feels good inside, and that's where it comes out after that. My proudest moment obviously was been last year where we won the championship. I've been training for like 3 years to win, and last year everything was going, even though I had some problems in Rally Barbados, I was still able to maintain my points throughout the end of the year, and it was such an awesome feeling when I won. I can't explain it in words, but after training for 3 years and it's been taken away, well, not taken away, that's not the correct word that should be used. It just didn't come together in 3 years before, where I tried and tried and tried, and after winning it last year, I really felt really good, and I would say it was the best moment. 5 years from now, what do I see myself doing? Honestly, people may not think so, but I don't take it super serious. I had come out to have fun. I mean, I would never see myself this year with new sponsors, a new car and stuff like that, so I can't tell you what's going to happen in 5 years, but theoretically, I always like to keep moving forward. I don't want to stay where I am. I obviously just built this car, so I don't see myself changing within the next couple of years, but you never know what's going to happen. Somebody may come to me one day and be like, well, they want you to drive this here and pay for it. And I'd be like, no problem. But right now, the next big change that I may want to do is step up a group. which would be going from modified 2 to somewhere in Group S. Once I get there, then we'll see how it goes. Whenever I look to buy a product for this car, I gotta make sure that it's gonna last and that it works well, because at the end of the day, you don't want to go out there in competition and fail because of a product. That doesn't make any sense. And because of that, I've turned to Valvoline as my oil, my gearbox oil. I use all the products and everything, you know, and they've been around for a long time, and I really trust the brand, and I find that it works perfect. I've never had an engine failure. I've never had anything like that since I've been using Valvoline. I don't think it gets much better than that. I want people to remember me for somebody who never gave up. I've had a lot of downs, a lot of years where I've had severe problems all the time, never made it to, I would always say I try to make it to every event, but in case something breaks, the engine lets go. And within the last couple of years, I think I've been getting it together a lot better, reliability-wise and whatnot, and I just don't give up. No matter what happens, I could hit one day in Rally Barbados, and once the car can be repaired, I'll be back out the next day. You can't give up. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. You don't know what somebody's going to help you with or what you can do for yourself. You just got to keep trying. And that's what I want people to remember me for, because no matter what happens, I'm going to be there.